A sip of wine because, warning, if you don't have a glass of wine, you will need one by the end of this story. Today's case is a very sad case, and it's intriguing, and it leaves me with a lot of unanswered questions in my head. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. This is Casey Renee. I want to thank you all. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate your support. I know this may sound funny to some of you, but right now I'm up to I think 6 subscribers, and I am super excited that there seems to be a platform for, a platform for what I'm trying to do. So I just encourage you that if you like what you hear and you feel like this is interesting to you, to please subscribe to my channel. Like my videos if this is something that interests you. I really appreciate your support. First, let me take a sip of wine because, warning, you will probably need one by the time I'm finished. So today's case is a very sad case, and it's honestly intriguing. And it just kind of leaves me with a lot of unanswered questions in my head. So yeah, let's just get started. So this is the case about the disappearance of Latoya Natasha Thomas. Latoya, as she was affectionately known, Thomas, was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance. She disappeared on September 30th in 2000. Latoya's birthday is October 2nd, 1975. So she was actually just a few days away from her 25th birthday when she was last seen by her friends and family. So a few days before Latoya's birthday, on a Saturday, which was September 30th, she attended a birthday party, which was thrown for her in her honor by her co-workers at her place of employment. Latoya worked at Bosley Medical Center in San Francisco. The night of the party, she left just before 8 p.m. planning to go pick up her 4-year-old daughter, who was staying with her boyfriend's mother. I'm assuming while she, attended the party. So it was probably around 8 o'clock that she, all accounts say that it was probably around 8 o'clock when she decided to leave the party to go pick up her daughter. And a friend of hers, who I believe probably left around the same time as she did, indicates that she saw her getting on the freeway, heading it toward the direction of Hayward, California, where she lived. Latoya left in her gray 1985 Mazda 626. Now, a surveillance camera, maybe a street surveillance camera or a bank surveillance camera, saw her at Providence Central Credit Union ATM, which is located on Foothill Boulevard in downtown Hayward. This credit union is about 1 mile from her home. So investigators were able to track back and see that this was kind of one of her stops on her way home that night, the last night that she was seen. Later that night, her apartment manager also recounted that he saw her doing laundry in the apartment complex that she lived in. She lived in the Riverside Terrace apartments located at the 1700 block of B Street in Hayward. So this is where this story and everything about it goes way left. So on the night of her disappearance, she was seen sometime after 9 p.m., but before 10. So between 9 and 10, she was seen driving away in her car with her boyfriend, Nathan Noel who followed her in his car. Reports and articles do not indicate where they believe Latoya was going at the time, but I probably would think or venture to think that this is around the time when Latoya decided that she was going to go pick up her daughter from Nathan's mom's house. So instead of her leaving from the party originally, she made a couple of stops instead of going directly to pick up her daughter, which would probably explain why Nathan is following her. Unfortunately, Toya never made it to her mom's boyfriend's house to pick up her daughter. After Latoya never made it to pick up her daughter, Nathan decided to report her missing on Tuesday, October 3rd, 2000. Now, Nathan was interviewed by police, and at the time, police indicated they planned to follow up with him again for additional information because Nathan was very cooperative. Police did not initially suspect him as being involved with Latoya's disappearance, but they did find her disappearance suspicious, especially the circumstances surrounding it. Her friends and family were definitely alarmed and concerned. It was totally unlike Latoya to just disappear and not reach out to them, not contact them, and most importantly, probably not go pick up her daughter, her 4-year-old daughter. Reports, like I said, didn't indicate that Nathan was a suspect, but I'm sure the police were very much aware and conscious of the fact that he was technically the last person to see Latoya that night when he followed her to wherever he was following her. I'm assuming to probably go pick up the 4-year-old. So the next day, on Wednesday, October 4th, 2000, unfortunately, Latoya's vehicle was found by a BART employee, and BART is the Bay Area Rapid Transit system in the San Francisco area. So the employee found her vehicle at the 900 block of B Street in Hayward with her purse, her driver's license, all on the front seat of the vehicle, but the keys were missing. This was found, or her vehicle was found sometime around 10 p.m. on the night of October 4th. At this point, police began to suspect something very serious and unsettling possibly could have taken place. They're starting to lean towards now the direction of foul play, and they were actively investigating Latoya's disappearance. Police continued to investigate Latoya's case and the circumstances around her disappearance, but unfortunately, to this day, her case remains unsolved, and Latoya has not been found. Latoya was labeled a missing person under suspicious circumstances. Today, Latoya would be 44 years old. Now, sadly, this story is far from over. In May of 2000, almost 7 years later, Latoya's then boyfriend, Nathan, finds himself in a similar situation with another girlfriend. Of course, for me, this is where light bulbs are starting to go ping, ping, what's going on here? During the week of May 13, 2007, police had been questioning Nathan several times about the disappearance of Latoya. So personally, I am thrilled to find out or to realize and see that they stayed on top of this case because, people just don't go missing. They actually were doing their jobs, and it showed. Now get this. On May 18, 2007, Nathan's then girlfriend, AIKENS, was found shot around 3 a.m. in the morning at her apartment complex in Concord, California. Leah subsequently passed away. This time, witnesses saw Nathan leaving the area in a 2005 Infiniti. Nathan ditches the Infiniti and was essentially on the run in a Cadillac, and investigators believed that he was possibly suicidal. So of course, at this point, it is clear to me and to investigators, I'm sure, that Nathan had something to do with or knew something about the shooting of Leah Aikens, his current girlfriend. On May 19, 2007, the U.S. Marshal Fugitive Task Force tracked Nathan to a restaurant in Los Angeles, and basically a gunfight began in broad daylight. Nathan shot at police in what sounds like to me a suicide by cop attempt. He shot at police, but none of them were hit. At this point, I believe Nathan felt like his back was against the wall and he essentially had nowhere to turn. Police were questioning him pretty much incessantly or nonstop about his first girlfriend, Latoya, the young 24-year-old with a 4-year-old child left without a mother. And now he's in another situation where his girlfriend, Leah, is shot at her apartment complex. So at this point, I believe that Nathan clearly felt like he was at the point of no return. So, which is what makes me believe, he attempted to possibly do some sort of like suicide by cop attempt. The police shot back several times, and unfortunately and sadly, they ended up killing Nathan. So at this point, we have two beautiful women that are no longer with their families, and their children have also lost their moms. This case is beyond heartbreaking, and what I'm about to say next clearly outlines how these types of situations affect not just those that are missing, but or harmed, but the family members that care and love them. So Leah Aikens was shot and killed, presumably by Nathan Noel, on May 18, 2007. She had a teenage son. After Leah Aikens' death, her son ended up being charged, convicted, found guilty, and admitted guilt in a brutal beating of a city employee where he lived, which I believe was in Concord, California. Of course, his family, his father, everyone felt like he was lashing out as a result of his mother's untimely death. Now, what's even more horrific is Leah's son's father went into the police station the day that he found out that the son was arrested in a fit of rage, upset, of course, rightfully so, just finding out that his son has been arrested and, accused of something so heinous and just really something so bad and such poor character. And he was adamant that his son had nothing to do with it. Well, the very next day after he went to the police station to defend his son, he was found shot to death shortly after the beating. Now, the police do not believe that those two incidents, the beating of the city employee and the father's death, are related at all. They do not believe they're related at all. And what's even just so sad and just crazy is that I can go on and on about this case. It really has so many layers. It seems like the death of Leah Aikens was the start of a horrific and horrible nightmare for her son as well as her family. You can even research it for yourself. I'll leave some of the sources down in the description box below. But you can definitely trace the sequence of events from the, almost 10 years prior in 2000 when Latoya went missing on September 30th to 2008 when Leah was shot and killed in the parking lot. So, like I said, this case definitely calls for a nice little drink because it is a doozy. It's sad. It's beyond sad. It's horrific. And I would just encourage you, if you're watching or if you know of anyone that has any information regarding the disappearance of Latoya, Natasha Thomas, that you would reach out to law enforcement. I'm going to leave their contact information in the description box below for this video. Now, I'm sure that after all that has happened, family, friends, law enforcement are also probably doubtful that Latoya is alive, but I'm also certain and sure that her family would want some sort of closure by, you know, having her home with them and knowing what actually happened. She, you know, it's almost like, again, another case of a beautiful young woman vanishing. She had so much to live for. She obviously was doing well for herself. She had her own apartment. She had a 4-year-old daughter. She had a good job. And she had family and friends who loved and cared for her. And I just think that even if, unfortunately, Nathan had something to do with her disappearance, or it had something to do with harming her, or, you know, hurting her in any way, that if she is no longer here on this earth with us, perhaps that there's some way that the family can find some sort of closure by finding her and bringing her home and just putting her to rest peacefully, and just knowing with that comfort that she's, you know, been found and that the situation has been resolved. So yeah, guys, this one was, like I said, crazy. It literally could be a Lifetime movie, because as I said, there's so much more to it that I didn't really talk about. There's so many different layers that I can dig further and further in, and you can too, with the description, with the links down in the description box below. It's just crazy to me that this young 24-year-old who had so much life ahead of her had her life cut short. If Nathan had something to do with her disappearance or her death, the big question mark is why. Like, why would he do that? But obviously he seems like he's disturbed. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm pretty sure that he, like I said, at the time that Leah, his second girlfriend, who unfortunately was shot and killed, once law enforcement started questioning him and started digging more and putting that pressure on him concerning Latoya, who knows, that may have impacted his decision to do whatever it is that he did with Leah. Now again, I can't find reports that say that he was the one to actually shoot Leah at her apartment complex. The only thing that I was able to find is that people say they saw him leaving the scene in the Infinity, and by him going on the run, it doesn't make him look innocent. At the very least, he knows something, or he knew something about Leah's death or her shooting, and I also believe at the very minimum, or at least he knew something about Latoya's disappearance and possibly death. So yeah, guys, this one was a tough one. It's really sad. I just think about the 4-year-old daughter who doesn't have a mom present. I think about the son. He was, at the time of Leah's death, he was 17 years old. So he was coming into an age of adulthood. But if you remember, he lost his mom, and then like within a few days, he lost his father. So he's left without parents, you know, to try to fend for himself in a situation that he didn't really ask for. So this case is just really horrific. It's sad, it's devastating, and I just wish we could do better. I really do. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I just wish that it could be, you know, it didn't have to end this way. But I just want to thank you all for watching. And again, if you like this channel and you like what you hear, if these topics are interesting to you, or if these cases and stories are interesting to you, please, 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 please subscribe. Please like this video and hit the notification bell. You can even also share, tell your friends, or tell someone else who has similar interests about this this channel. My goal is to see this to expand into something great. Like I said, my main goal is to make this a beneficial platform for everyone. We need to start talking about these stories. We need to start talking about these cases. We need to start encouraging people to do the right thing, and discouraging people from doing the wrong thing. So share your thoughts below in the comment section on this particular case. What do you think? I mean, obviously Nathan, he seems like he's a disturbed, or was a disturbed young man, and that's even unfortunate. No one wants anyone to live a life like that, but I just don't understand what would cause him to react that way. If, for example, he harmed both of these women, if he did shoot Leah, if he did do something horrific to Latoya, why? What was the reason behind it? Did he seek out these women to just intentionally befriend them and get close to them and harm them? I don't know about that. I find that hard to believe, only because his mom was involved. His mom was watching Latoya's child. So I don't know that someone who just had the mindset of being, you know, malicious or deranged or sociopathic in the way of like serial type. I can't imagine him just introducing these women or people to his family members. And perhaps the police need to actually reach out to his mom and see what his mindset is. I'm sure that's crossed their minds, and I'm sure they've probably done that, being that this case was thoroughly, in my opinion, investigated. It was thoroughly pursued, because I mean, Latoya went missing in 2000, and here we are in 2007. They were still putting enough pressure on Nathan, because they obviously thought something, you know, thought he knew something. They couldn't prove that he had any involvement, but they were very suspicious, and he was a suspect in the sense that they continued to question him enough to be reaching out to him almost 10 years later. So I find it hard to believe that he would introduce these women to his family or his parents and things like that if he had an initial intent to do something to harm them or to cause harm to them. So it's like, did he snap? Did he have some moment of rage? Like, what happened? You know, where did all of this come from? Why out of the blue? They, you know, by all accounts, for Latoya, the young 24-year-old, she was just at her apartment doing laundry. So what happened? Even the apartment manager didn't reference or indicate that he noticed anything out of the ordinary with the relationship between her and her boyfriend, Nathan, at the time. He just simply said he saw Nathan following her. Now, I don't know if Nathan was following her out of anger. I don't know if Nathan was following her just to, you know, hey, let me follow you to my mom's house so you could pick up your daughter. That's what I'm leaning towards. But then, I don't know, something happened between the time she left her apartment complex and before getting to his mom's house, because she never made it there. So yeah, sound off in the comments below with what you think. If I'm missing anything, which I don't think I am, because I kind of really looked this one over a lot, because it was just kind of really shocking, especially, like I said, all of the things that come after Latoya's disappearance. I just really wish that she is able to get rest, you know, whatever that means. I really wish that she's able to get rest, her family is able to get rest, and they're able to somehow mend the pieces. You know, it's heartbreaking when a family member is gone and you have I can't imagine, I've never experienced it, but I'm pretty sure it's heartbreaking to know that your family member is missing or just disappeared or somewhere and you don't know where they are. And yet I think it's probably, you know, I don't know, I probably would think that's probably more heartbreaking than to know that, hey, you know, unfortunately, she's no longer here with us or something like that. So I just really hope that these families get closure especially Latoya. She was such a young girl, and she's such a beautiful young girl at that, and she was such a beautiful young girl at the time of her disappearance. And yeah, it's just a really sad case. So that's all I have for tonight. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you all for watching so much. I am super excited about this, and I will have another one for you guys coming up shortly. Stay tuned actually for Friday. I'll probably have another video either posted Friday, if not Friday, definitely Saturday, and that's going to be my schedule going forward. I want to have one posted on Wednesday nights, and then I also want to have one posted on Saturday night. So yep, thank you for watching. Bye.